It's 8 a.m. on our central news desk here in Limbe on the CAM1 radio, the People's Radio. As you also know that the frequency is 99.5 FM. And welcome to our daily press review on this particular network. We kickstart this session today with Eden newspaper, which is out today on the stands. On the Eden newspaper today, which is on the stands, they talk about after the walloping Cape Verde 4-1 victory. Lions expected to roar again today in Angola, and that is in Luanda, the capital of Angola, where they'll be facing the Palancas Negras of Angola. Today is a must-read story on the Eden newspaper, which is already out on the stands today. The Eden newspaper also talks about Bamenda main market fire as victim shares over 75.5 million francs CFA. Victims say urgent need urgent need is also there to reconstruct the market. On the Eden newspaper today, they also talk about the 50th ordinary session of Soweto board salutes management for significant strides made by despite odds. All of these stories could be read today on the Eden paper here in Limbe. And still on the paper, the Southwest Region Decentralization Minister inaugurates two giant projects in Tiko and Boya, respectively, in the Southwest region of Cameroon. Keep Cool also introduces free interest scheme for Muslims and inaugurates ultra-modern edifice in Bamenda. Another story which can be read today on the Eden paper. Also, on the Eden paper, the profile of the life of actor Otia Vitalis, who quit the stage at the age of 57. Another must-read story on the Eden paper today. The Guardian Post is also on the stands today and says Prime Minister says quality, affordable healthcare key pillar of government social action. As the Prime Minister, head of government, Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute has reiterated that the provision of quality and affordable healthcare to Cameroonians nationwide remains a pivotal pillar in the social action of government. The Star Building occupants made the statement in Bertua in the East region yesterday as Prime Minister John Gute was speaking while inaugurating the ultra-modern Bertua Regional Hospital Center on behalf of the head of state, Paul Biya. As President Paul Biya's envoy was also accompanied to the East region by the Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manawuda Malashi. That's a story which can be read today on the Guardian Post. On the Guardian Post, still separatists should stop intimidating the population. That's the editorial part of the paper today, which reiterates that separatists should stop intimidating the local population of Cameroon. Police arrested notorious criminals for human bone traffickers. That's another story which can be read today on the Guardian Post as the police arrest notorious criminals for human bone traffickers in Balmayo. Yes, that's a story which could be read on the Guardian Post as job opportunities at the Quaker of Cameroon office is also available today. New elite hands 75.5 million francs service support to fire victims as a result of this inferno at the Bamenda main market. This could be read today on page 6 of the Guardian Post. The Post on its own part says IMF anticipates new disbursements, says Cameroon's economy is recovering and inflation declining. This can be read today on page 3 of the Post newspaper, which is also out today on the stands. Still on the Post, Philemon Yang sues for unity and diversity to achieve peace in the world. That's another story which could be read on the Post. And all must prepare for tribulations, follow Jehovah's way to be saved. As Joel Cullen talks about this particular story on the Post. Long-awaited Boya Central Market project materializes first phase of 76 open stalls and 36 closed shops constructed at the cost price of 605 million francs CFA. Boya denizens say it's a dream come true. As Mayor David Mafani Nabange takes decentralization minister, Southwest governor, and other officials around the newly constructed market in Boya. Still on the post, the separatists are still making news, and the SGO bans bike riders, taxi drivers in Bamenda because of separatist movements in that part of the country. You can read this today on page 3 or page 5 rather of the Post newspaper. The Voice is also out today on the stands and says 2026 African World Cup qualifiers after trouncing of Cape Verde 4-1, Lions thirst for Angola showdown. All of this can be read today on the Voice newspaper. Minister Mbayu leads Northwest elites with a 75 million franc CFA donations to victims as a result of the inferno that happened at the Bamenda market in the northwest region of the country. Pamor GM, as the general manager of Pamor, wins top manager award. A must-read story today on the Voice newspaper. And still on the Voice, on part of its column, Mula and Wangong discuss the inevitable end of an era in a moonlight conversation. Meantime, Tambe Credit Union honored with a prestigious award as well. All of this can be read today on the Voice. We talk something completely different now and go straight up to the municipal update, which is also out today on the stands for us, and says Manfi Road drivers solicit from Mukete the fourth intervention as union election suffers delay. That's a story which can be read today on the page 4 of the municipal update. Meantime, the center page of the municipal update today talks about John Gute unveils Bia's quality healthcare vision to population in the East region. This story could be read today on page 3 on the municipal updates. Fast tracking decentralization, local development minister reviews plan for Southwest Regional Assembly constructions. All of this could be read today on the municipal updates, which is also out today on the stands. The Dawn on its own part talks something completely different and has a different editorial policy in mind today and talks about Kupemaniguba Southwest Opic sensitizes Ngoti population at maiden visits. The Don also talks about Batoke Limbe and says NGO in that part of the country hand in hand donate sanitary pads to the local population of Batoke in Limbe. The Don also talks about the GCE in Kumba and says panic as a superintendent's car catches fire during examination sessions at the GCE in Kumba. Audacious Voices flags off mentorship for women, a must-read story today for women who are interested in knowing more about gender inequality. This could be read today on page 6 of the Dawn. Decentralization Minister commissions two giant socio-economic projects in the Southwest region, a must-read story on page 3 of the Dawn today, which is already out on the stands. The Scoop on its own part talks about June's session of Parliament opens today, a must-read story on page 3, as well as Pamog General Manager backs Most Resilient Productive Manager Award. This story could be read on page 6 and 7, respectively, of the Scoop newspaper, which is already out today on the stands. Cameroonians pay tribute to late veteran actor Otia Vitalis. Page 5, the story is already there on the Scoop for you today, and it's a scoop for people who want to see or talk about know more about Otia Vitalis, a veteran actor in the Cameroonian movie industry. Meantime, Tamben Credit Union shines again, and Tamku workers receive award as a prestigious most innovative credit union award was given to the Tamben Credit Union, which is another story which could also be read today on the page 10 and 11 on the Scoop newspaper. Mockingbird Credit Union recognized for role in poverty alleviation. Page 12 of the Scoop has this story in store for you today. That is another story which could be read today on the Scoop newspaper, which is also out today. Meantime, Lelit is out on the stands today and talks about the First Lady Chantal Bia's outstanding move towards rehabilitating some residents of the far north region of the country. La République, on its own part, says Bertois now has a master-class sanitary facility as the regional healthcare center was inaugurated yesterday by Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute. Le Médecin has the same initiative as La République and talks about something else except that analyzing a newly inaugurated hospital in Betwa, but now on a different angle, but also reaffirms its quality. Le Pelican, on its own part, says the East region has big ambitions as they benefit from government's initiative in the rehabilitation or creation and inauguration of a regional health facility in the East region. Le Drapeau, on his own part, is also out today and says there is an energetic transition in the far north region. This is the most a must read story on page 4 of the Drapeau newspaper, which is also out today on the stands. Impact Echo also talks about the disagreement between the Ministry of Public Health and the Ministry of Higher Education in regards to the training and educational procedures of young healthcare specialists. It also talks about Philemon Young's role within the United Nations organization. My hospital talks about the continuous power outages at the district hospital in Obala, that's the central region of the country, a phenomenon which has also affected the mortuary at the district hospital there in Obala, leading to the decomposition of corpses in that particular health facility. Still on my hospital, the editors talk more about a health training session towards geared towards training healthcare specialists to patriotic or to healthcare workers in the district hospital in Lekki, that's in Monatele, a district hospital in Lekki, who have to undergo healthcare training as the healthcare specialists in that particular part of the country undergo this particular training in Lekki. Eco Sante is also out on the stands today and profiles the new director of the Fumban Regional Annex, who has officially begun his duties as director of the health establishment. It also talks about research studies geared towards the CIRCB, which is the Chantal Bias International Reference Center. The research is geared towards improving the health of HIV/AIDS patients across the country. Projection is also out today on the stands. The Prime Minister Joseph Jongute, who has inaugurated the regional health facility in Betwa, is on the center page of Projection today. La Voix des Jeunes talks something different and talks about Cameroonian youths by the name of Jean-Baptiste Motasi, who has gone missing in France since the 18th of April 2024. The 29-year-old male is at the center page of La Voix des Jeunes. It must read stories for people who travel abroad and want to know how to stay safe in that part of the country. We wish him well as well, that he should come back and people can actually see him already. Le Quotidien, on its own part, highlights the exploits of the government in the creation and inauguration of the new health facility in Betwa and says the East region will now benefit from good health care initiative as a result of this particular issue in that part of the country. Cameroon Suhebdo talks something completely different and talks about the newly inaugurated hospital and it's in the same light and says over 51 days after it's been publicly administered, the hospital has had a lot of visitors in just 51 days after being publicly administered. That's what can is said today on Cameroon Suhebdo. And Lancaster says medals of honor have been awarded by Douala Tree Council to 105 workers. It also says uprising presidential elections plus profiles Honorable Manfo David, who is at the same or at the who is at the service of the Republic rather. That's what Lancaster has in store today for us. Read Lancaster also talks about the upcoming presidential elections, which are supposed to take place in 2025, plus profiling Honorable Manfo David, who's at the service of the Republic and also has a lot to say about the 105 people who have been inaugurated or awarded medals at the Douala Tree Council. That's what Lancaster has in store today for us. And it is with Lancaster that we end this edition of the press review on the CAM1 radio. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your keen attention and keep on listening to more programs on this radio. For presentation, I am Ekome Charles Abane. See you tomorrow, same time, same place on this particular network.